All right, guys, welcome to part two of where my sound comes from. I thought that I missed a couple of things and that we should go over uh, this thing again because we missed a whole bunch of stuff. I forgot to talk about the wahs because there's more than just one wah. So let's go. So the wah, we can turn that on. We have the crybaby wah. You get that. You get the Clyde wah, and I believe that is modeled after. Oh God, what is it? I can't remember. Fuck. And then there's a full range wah, and that's a really, really sweepy wah that goes from like the tippy top of the frequency spectrum all the way down to the bottom, and it's really, really funky to play with. So, and if you've got like sensitive ears, you might wanna avoid this guy because this one will kind of fuck up your eardrums a little bit if you don't know what you're doing. So, uh, be warned. Be warned. Okay, so those are the wahs, and in with the wah preset, you have the USB function thingies. So you can use these knobs to control whatever USB function they say. So USB playback mix. This knob right here for the USB playback mix will adjust. It's not plugged into USB right now, or else it would do something. But this will adjust what your volume between what you're playing as far as instrument goes, and what's playing from your computer as far as your mix goes on your recording software. And this is the USB record level, so that sets in the level of volume coming out of this through to the USB or through USB to your computer. So you want to set that and make sure that it's not going up more than halfway on your little level meter thingy when you're recording. If you go more than halfway, you really cut into your headroom. So be careful when you're messing around with that. And then of course preset level is also built into the wall thing for some reason, but that's just the overall volume of the individual preset. You can set different levels of volume for different presets if you want. I like to keep them consistent around the same volume so that there's not like big jumps, because it's weird when that happens and I don't really like it. Anyways, keep going down. We have compressors. We didn't talk about compressors either. This also emulates a couple of different compressors. So we have a Digitech compressor. That's the first one in the list. The CS compressor, that's the Boss compressor. And with the compressors, you can adjust different levels. Look, that knob does nothing. So we got sustain, attack, nothing, and level. On the last one, the Digitech compressor, you get sustain, tone, attack, nothing, and level. So let's go up a Dynacomp. What do you get? Sensitivity, nothing, 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 and output. Okay, so different shit depending on what effect you're using, which product. The big thing that I forgot to mention, big, is with the amp sims. So not only does it simulate the amplifier, if you take a look at this button right here, or not a button, this knob, it is a button, I should say. If you click it, you can swap through, you can change through different variables of different effects. So the amp simulator, if you click it here, it goes to your cab simulator. So it not only simulates amplifiers, but it also does cabinets. And so this one will go through the list. That's a 8-inch speaker, 12-inch, 12-inch. I think that's the deluxe reverb 12-inch speaker. Let's see. Here's a British 112, a Gibson 12-inch speaker, a Bassman 212 cab, twin reverb 212 cab, British 212 cab. That's the Jazz Chorus 212 cab. Let's see. JBL 215s. Let's see. There's a Bassman 410. I use this for bass sounds. That comes in really handy. It works pretty well. Keeps it from being too boomy. There's a classic 412, and this one is I believe a Marshall sound. Maybe that's this one. I'm not sure what this one is then. I think that one. I don't know. I don't know. One of these is a Marshall sound. I know that. This one, don't know. That one, don't know. Don't know, but I've used the boutique sound. That one's really good. It's good for nice crunchy guitar tones, like really chuggy stuff. It's good for that. There's also a rectifier 412 cab, which is really good for like high like thrash metal. But yeah, there's lots of different cabs that you can go through. There's also direct, so if you don't want to use a cab, you do that. And I also use the direct for my vocal as well. If in fact, if you go to Amp Simulator or Amp Selection and you go to direct, it automatically selects the direct cab for you. And in most cases, whatever amp that you go to, let's say we go to the jazz chorus right here, the jazz chorus, it should select the cab that we need for that. See, it's on the Jazz 212. Yeah. So it automatically selects which one you that goes with the amp, but you can mess around and change it to whatever you want, which is really cool. And another reason why I love this thing. It also has equalizer, which we did not go through. If you're running this, you can tweak the settings of this thing on a computer. It has software for that. And if you do that, you have a little more control over the EQ in here, but the control that you don't have here is the ability to change the frequency of the bass control, because right now it's just a general low level adjustment. But for the mid control, you can change what frequency it's controlling, and then you can adjust that from plus 12 to minus 12 and anywhere in between. Same with the high, you can adjust what frequency that is, and then plus 12, minus 12. Same with the bass, just without the frequency control. It's plus 12, minus 12. That comes in handy sometimes. Sometimes I don't use it unless I'm really trying to fine tune my sound. But most of the time I'll just use the EQ and stuff from the amp simulator, and I'll leave the equalizer turned off. There's a noise gate, so if you've got a noisy guitar, you can turn this on. And I think it's on gate right now. So yeah, threshold is at 35. I usually keep this down to like 20. 20 is about where the noise in my cable and my guitar come through. 20 to 22. And that usually eliminates most of it. So what it'll do is it will cut off anything volume-wise below whatever this threshold says. So 22 is about where the noise volume is on my guitar, and it cuts that all out. So as soon as I start playing, I get volume, but as soon as I stop, volume goes away and it cuts off any kind of noise that would be coming through. And then if you turn it off, which you can do, you can just switch it off. You'll hear that noise automatically, and then you turn it back on. But you're basically bypassing the effect. Then you'll hear the difference automatically, and it's pretty necessary thing, especially if you're using a really loud amplifier. That noise will create feedback, and it's not a good thing. Okay, the expression pedal. This is what I was kind of talking about when you can assign it to different things. So the parameter link, what we're going to be doing with it is basically we're going to select what parameter we're going to control with this thing. So right now it's set to no link, but you can set it to compressor being on or off. So that's the sensitivity of the compressor, the output of the compressor, the distortion being on or off, the drive of the distortion, the tone of the distortion, the level of the distortion, the amp simulator gain, the bass of the amp, the mid range of the amp, the treble of the amp, or the level of the amp, the EQ, low frequency, low level. Oh, you can change the low frequency, but you have to use the expression pedal. Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. See, look, we're learning new things every day. Okay, here we go. Keep going. But yeah, like I said, everything, anything you can think of, you can control with this expression pedal. It's pretty in depth. Very, very nice. So yeah, like I said, this is an older one. It's pretty cheap now, I think, if you get a used one. But you can tell this thing's like hard, heavy metal, very sturdy, very nice. Go pick one up. If you play guitar, you will appreciate it, I think. Unless you've already got, I mean, if you have like the pedal board and everything that basically equals this thing, then you don't need this. But if you don't, and if you don't have a big studio, and if you're not in like a giant house, or if you don't have all the space for that stuff, get one of these guys. Works out pretty well. Yeah, that's it. I guess that was part two. Maybe some other time we'll talk about this thing. This doesn't even have sounds though. I only use this as a MIDI controller. Yeah, it goes straight through to my computer. I think that's all I'm going to talk about on that thing though. We'll have to make another video about you. What do you think about that? Do you want to be in a video? No? Why not? You're going to be in a video because I said you're going to be in a video. You're going to do it because I said you're going to do it. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one of these days, I'll make a video about you. And then... What the fuck? Panic, motherfucker.